What is going on? This is Joe, and today we are playing Final Fantasy XVI, the Rising Tide DLC. In this episode, we're going to be doing some side quests. We're going for the End Can Wait trophy, and somehow I missed the Super Soaker trophy when we were playing through. So we're going to go ahead and get that one while we're hanging out doing side quests. If we get something else on the way, cool. But those are the two trophies we're going for in this episode. Hope you all are having a good day.
Some time on your hands, would you,
Let's
Clive?
get to it.
Only I was wondering if you might help me with something else.
Don't tell me. Another unruly dominant.
Not quite, but a dangerous foe nonetheless. It promises to be quite a hunt. Care to join me?
Yeah.
All right. Tell me about our quarry.
A fiendish, cold-blooded beast known as a Givra. Normally, we leave such animals well alone, and for good reason. But I have an even better reason to want its tongue.
Its tongue.
If you'll permit me, tributary, I can explain.
Certainly, Yamila.
It's been over a week since me sister gave birth to her first child, yet she still isn't back on her feet. We've tried everything to restore her spirits, physics and nostrums, the laying on of hands and of leeches, but all to no avail. The healers tell me there's only one hope left. A broth as potent as its ingredients are perilous to procure.
It isn't only Yamila's sister who stands to benefit from this, by the way. There's her baby to think of, and Walias, too. She'd agreed to be his wet nurse, you see.
I'd be glad to help.
Thank you. Our hunters have no shortage of skill, but this task calls for more than that. And it won't be achieved through weight of numbers either. The Givra is as wary a foe as it is a deadly one. 2 hunters might catch it unawares, but any more than that, and it would pick up our scent a league away.
Then it is decided. The 2 of you will go, while Jill and I occupy ourselves here.
Perhaps we might help prepare the broth. That would be most kind of you.
Come then, Clive. The river of time flows fast, and so must we. There's a Givra that has claimed the ruins at the foot of the mountain as its hunting ground. But as I say, they are wary creatures. We'll need suitable bait to draw it out. The flesh of a forest ibex should suffice.
To the forest, then.
There's nothing a Givra loves more than a fat haunch of ibex.
There's me. It's the voice of experience. Do you hunt often?
Since I was a girl, my father would take me. Then after he returned to the sea, Yamila's father. Our families have always been close. Even if her sister wasn't Walias's wet nurse, I couldn't stand by and watch her suffer.
I don't want to fast travel and miss that, so now that they're done talking, we're going to go ahead and fast travel. Turn around. Where are we going?
Careful.
Let's see. This should be the trophy. No. I did not. I guess we can't use that one, so let's Switch to that. I think this Shiva trophy was kind of like that too.
These will do nicely.
Oh my gosh, we're terrible at this. I'm having a rough day with my refill.
Return to the sea, and to the clouds rise again.
We have our bait then. What next?
Next, we pay a visit to the Dark Gate to pick some local weed. It'll help disguise our scent.
A lot going wrong for this. Yes. Walk.
There should be a sprig or two of local weed growing somewhere around here. Look for the golden leaves.
Is this it?
Aye, that's the stuff. Crush the leaves between your fingertips and rub them on your clothes.
If you insist. You could have warned me about the smell.
Like corruption, isn't it? We'll have an honor guard of flies before long. But it'll stop the Givra from noticing us. Its nose will tell it we're nothing but a feast for worms.
Oh, I feel so much better.
We can wash it off afterwards. If there's one good thing about the Givra choosing the ruins for its hunting ground, it's that there's plenty of fresh water nearby.
Well, that's reassuring. Fast travel.
Where should we lay the bait?
Givras are creatures of habit. Look for some sign of its passing. It's sure to return to the same place sooner or later.
A fresh kill.
But not a Givras. The wounds are too clean, too small.
Marking its territory.
Something was. A curl, maybe.
Come on, Clive, you're not very good at this.
Tracks. But I assume they're too small to belong to a Givra.
You're right. They're barely big enough to belong to a Givra's breakfast.
Right. Where's the fastest way to get there?
These look like a predator's tracks. You can clearly make out the claws.
And not just any claws. These belong to a Givra. There's no mistaking them.
Well,
lay
that's
the
good.
bait here.
Or bad.
Let's hope our friend is hungry. Still no sign.
Patience, Clive. Hunting's not something you can rush.
Have you stalked these beasts before?
Once. Givras are fast, so the job called for a bearer. But even with my knack, it was a close-run thing.
Not many leaders would take such risks for their people.
Says the man who battled an icon to save a boy he barely knew. It is the way of the moats of water to use what gifts we've been given for the good of all. And I gather it's your way too.
It was Sid, the man whose name I bear. He fought for his people and their future with every fiber of his being. I'm just following in his footsteps. In many ways, you remind me of him.
Me? You're confusing daring with desperation. Quiet. Something's coming.
Well, that's ugly.
Our guest has finally arrived.
Shall we greet him?
It'd be rude not to. Don't let it escape.
In the bum. I really love the machine gun thing. That was weird. The second bar did not go down at all. There we go.
Let's try.
This should do it.
You lose. You weren't exaggerating when you said they were dangerous.
They're forces of nature, all right. And with this one's passing, the river of life has calmed. O roaring torrent, son of storms, may your spirit run free in the open ocean. This flesh I claim, that your gifts might rain down upon us this day, and our river flow in spate once more. Well then, let's return to the village. We must get this tongue to Yamila before it spoils.
Yes, we want to fast travel there.
Tributary, my lord. Did all proceed as planned?
It did. Here. One Geaver tongue. As promised.
Oh, thank you. I shall add it to the broth at once. By your leave, tributary.
If there is anything else that we can do to help, you need only ask.
No, no. You've already done more for my family than I can ever repay.
Just as you have, Clive, for my family. I only regret that I have nothing to offer you in return but my gratitude.
It's more than enough. Besides, I'm no less grateful to you
For what?
for welcoming my friends and I into your midst. For showing us how your people live. For reminding me that the world we strive to create, where bearers can live alongside their fellow men in peace and comfort, is no mere fantasy.
I'd hardly call it comfort. Every day is a struggle. Though we do at least struggle together, it's true.
As must we all. I only ask that you remember the cost of using your gifts as a bearer. I know that you feel it's your duty to do whatever you can to help your people. But you have a child to think about now. And Wallis has lost enough.
I shall bear that in mind.
That's all I ask. Oh, and if there is anything else that we can do to help, well, you know.
Thank you. Truly.
Nice. Who's next?
My lord, might I have a moment of your time? I would beg of you a service.
Certainly. What is it?
It's a long story. But before we get to that, would I be right in thinking Lady Shula told you about the witch from the north?
Yes. She said that your ancestors found her here, and that it was she who taught them the spell to stop time. She was like Wallius, you know. A dominant. The Warden of Ice.
My great-grandmother suspected as much. She cared for the poor woman when the end was near. And it was she whose duty became to attend her grave. A duty that was passed down to me.
I see. And the service you would beg of me?
Well, until recently, the path to the grave had long been blocked by a fallen tree. But when our woodsmen finally found time to move it, we quickly realized it might have been better had they not. On trying to clear the rest of the path, you see, we discovered that a flock of bloodthirsty beasts had claimed the cliffs beyond. None of us was a match for them. But you, my lord, have proven your strength many times over. Would you drive them away for us?
Of course we will.
Of course. I'll see the path is made safe.
Thank you, my lord. The grave is in a place called Witch Drop. To reach it, one must turn left at the Winged Wains, then follow the path around to the right, deep into the forest.
Why so far from Haven?
It was where she lived. When our ancestors first came to Mysidia, they found her there, in an old abandoned village, and it was her heartfelt wish to return there in death. So when she passed away, my great-grandmother had a stone erected for her on the cliffs overlooking the place she once called home.
How thoughtful. Well then, no time like the present. Left at the ships, then round to the right, you said.
Just so. Thank you once again, my lord. I will join you at the grave anon.
And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and fast travel there, because why not? Nope, cross the bridge. Caution, brother. You know nothing of caution.
This should be the path to Witch Drop. Hungry, Toggle.
Flan. Go here. The water drop is coming from him. Let's get it. Over here looking around like a dummy. Alright. Found our aquamarines.
And here's our welcoming party. Nice try.
Too late on the Ramu. That was bad. Really poorly timed.
Looks like that's the last of them. Now, where's the grave?
It's pretty.
This must be it.
My lord, thank you for making the path safe again.
XVI. Was that her name?
Yes. Hardly the most fitting tribute for a dominant, is it? A rough-hewn stone with naught but a given name engraved on it. But my ancestors had only been here a matter of weeks when she passed. Every day was a struggle to survive. They had neither the time nor the energy to devote to a more elaborate memorial. Yet they spared what they could to grant her wish, that even in death she might continue to watch over her home.
She lived down there then? In the ruins?
That's right. They were once the living quarters for those who served up in the temple. When the Northern Thanes sent her here to weave her spell, this was where she and her retinue stayed. There were priests, handmaidens, and a knight sworn to shield her from harm. Of course, they were all gone by the time my ancestors arrived.
That knight wasn't.
In the Western Wars.
All except XVI, who remained till the end. Alone.
Indeed. At least, that is the story as it's been handed down in Haven. But there is an epilogue to the tale. One known only to Lady Shula and myself. Some years after XVI's passing, you see, my grandmother came here to tend the grave, and found a stranger kneeling before it. A knight, dressed head to toe in plate. She asked of him who he was and whence he had come, but received no answer. The only words he spoke were, "Tell me true, whose grave is this?" So she told him of how her people had met and cared for XVII, and how she had died. His only reaction was to stare up at the air of hours in silence. Then he left, never to be seen again.
You said he was wearing plate. Was it black and gold?
Do you know something of him?
When we went up to the Air of Hours to unravel the spell, we were set upon by a shade in the shape of a knight in full plate. It manifested in front of the Vare, and in its ether, I felt Shiva, the witch.
You think this may have been the same man my great-grandmother met? XVI's knight?
I don't know. Maybe. All I can say for sure is it was intent on protecting her creation.
Or perhaps her spirit? What remained of her ether, preserved in the Vare? Perhaps his spirit too became enraveled in her spell, frozen in an eternal vigil.
Till we ended it.
Whoopsies.
If the shade you fought was XVI's knight, then ending it was the greatest gift you could have given him. Now he can return to the sea, to be with his lady once more.
Oh, well then we're good.
And if his spirit should ever return here to visit her grave, I shall ask his name, that I might carve it in the stone next to hers.
That they might be together. Once and for all.
Guess we fast travel back to town. Hey, look, there's another new side quest. So there's at least 11.
Praise be to the heavens.
No, it has to be him.
What has to be who? If you, don't mind my asking.
It's not your asking, I mind. It's my explaining. But I don't see any other way around it. You see, when a baby is born here, we hold a ceremony to welcome them. The rite of immersion, we call it. But I don't know whether Walius was ever afforded that courtesy. What is abundantly clear, though, is that my ancestors never welcomed him as one of us. And I want to change that.
So they
Problem is,
baptize him.
The ceremony requires 3 ministrators. The baby's parents and a witness. As tributary, the role of witness would normally fall to me. But being Walius's closest living relative, I must
I guess
play
they're
the
Catholic.
role of mother.
So you want me to serve as witness in your stead?
That's right. A witness must be a trusty guardian, ready to steer the child through the stormy waters of life and on to tranquility. Which is why I thought of you.
Sure.
It would be my honor.
Thank you, Clive.
So, if you will serve as mother and I as witness, who will take on the father's role?
I have a younger brother. He should be making ready for the rite as we speak, though whether he is or not. Let me introduce you.
Please do. If he's anything like his sister, I'm sure we'll get on famously.
I'll bid him come to the Witten Hall. Will you wait for us there?
Gladly.
It is good to have him back.
Yes?
Hey, you. Make me some stuff. Ooh, tonberry knife. Nice.
Better than new.
Reinforced menus, waistcloth. Sweet.
Done. Will that do ya? Done.
I love how we're going all the way back to Final Fantasy II for the references.
A good tide to you.
My friend, I have news.
Are these people all mages, though?
I think I might have found a way to break Talor's curse.
Go on.
Well, after listening to the village elders and scouring every likely-looking tome in the library, I learned that not all Tombries are the same little green menaces we know and loathe. Apparently, a chosen few live to incredible ages and grow to many times the size of their counterparts. The folktales hold that it's the very eldest of these, the Tombury kings, who weave the curses, and that their magics bind their victims to them, that they might continue to feed on their pain.
So if we slay the one that cast the curse, the feeding will cease.
But that was my thinking, yes. Though I doubt it'll be easy. These kings are not just bigger, they're stronger too. And if the tales are true, their followers will defend them to the death. It is a perilous proposition, in short, but it may also be Talor's only hope. What say you?
Yeah, we got this.
I'll do it.
No big deal.
Even if killing this king doesn't break the curse, the city will be a safer place for its removal.
Thank you.
So then, where will I find it?
That, alas, I do not know. It must have woven the curse at the altar in Father's Fell, but as to where it is now...
Fanet! You were the one asking about Tonburies, right? Because there's a whole bloody army of them out on the cloak.
What? But why would they stray so far? And why now?
There's only one way to find out. I'll head up the mountain and
Because
see what's
plot
going on.
line, that's why.
Right. Thank you. And please, be careful.
We are never careful. But we have potions, so we'll be alright. For that. Let's go.
Found her. They're almost at the gate. But they won't be coming any closer. Nice try.
Oh my gosh.
That should buy Haven some time at least.
Clive, are you all right?
We're great. We're Clive.
Fine. We've taken care of the immediate threat.
Thank the tides. I was worried I was going to lose you both. Talor, he took a sudden turn for the worse just after you left.
What? Is he?
No, he's hanging on. I fear the Tombury king may have begun the cursing ritual again. In earnest this time. I can't imagine their being here as a coincidence. I think it might be happening on this very mountain.
If it is, it won't be for long. Get back to Talor. I'm going up.
My thanks. I shall pray for both of you.
How giant is this Tonberry King? That's what I want to know. Oh wait, no, there's a bunch of Tonberries up here. Let's just go fight all the Tonberries.
More of them. Come on then. I crave an audience with your king.
Fight all the Tonberries on the way up. Seems like they have really good EXP. I love how suspenseful the music is. Am I going the right way? Yeah.
Another group. They don't look very regal.
Air water drops. Where is it? There it is. More Tonberries.
Still no sign of the king. Could Fanit have been wrong?
Caution, brother.
There's dozens of them. The king must be close. We'll have to take care of his followers first.
Ah. Goodness. I really probably shouldn't be doing this refill.
That's a lot of Tonberries.
That missed. That was a lot of EXP for a pretty easy battle. I'll take it.
Looks like that's the last of them. Out here, anyway. But beastmen do like dark places.
Switch this over to Tsunami.
Well, I'll be damned.
Yep. Huge.
It even has a crown.
Oh,
Sorry, Your Majesty, but your reign ends here.
teleport. That's great. Oh, he got buddies. Oh, I forgot I switched that. I literally just switched that. What was I doing? Reminds me of there were some kind of mage giant enemy in the main game with all his teleporting. I'm sure I remember what that guy was called. He was a pain in the butt. I get to know. Nope. I don't really need that.
Nice try.
Stay still. Yeah, that mage guy had a... The mage guy... I wish I remembered his name. Had a very similar move to the Stoneberry King. Goodness. Ow, ow, ow. These souls. Jeez. That escalated quickly at the end. And that was a ton of EXP. Love it. Imagine if I still had my EXP booster on.
It's done. Which means the curse should be broken. Let's see how Talor's doing.
Sweet.
Clive! Is it done then?
It is. I was going to ask if there had been any change in Talor's condition, but judging by that smile on your face, I think I already know the answer.
You do? Talor! He's back!
Thank you, my lord. I can never repay you for everything you've done for me. I owe you my life.
I'm just glad the curse is lifted. There is one thing I'd like to know, though. If you don't mind my asking. What made you seek the Tombury's help in the first place?
Oh, that... well, you deserve to know. It was years ago now, back in my trading days. The Sons of Greek arrested me in Oriflamme, chained me up in a lightless cell with a great sword hung over my head, ready to fall if I didn't confess. Though they never said to what. I didn't, of course. So eventually they just let me go. And I never told a soul. Tried to forget it ever happened. But then you came along and the sight of your sword brought it all flooding back. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't hardly breathe, and I thought that if I gave my old chain to the Tomburys, maybe they could take all that pain away. All that anger. But it only made it worse.
Oriflamme has fallen. And the men who tortured you likely fell with it.
If only I'd known, I might have spared everyone a lot of trouble. I'd convinced myself that you were like them. That all outsiders were the same, but you're not. Far from it. Thank you, son. Thank you.
Praise be to you, Yevon. Right? I'm not the only one that sees the whole you Yevon thing, right? Please drop in comments if you see.
There's something I need to tell you.
Agree with that, or if you don't agree.
On the path to the cloak, I went straight back to Talor and explained to him what you were doing on his behalf. And just like that, his pain began to fade.
What do you mean? Just like that? The Tombury King would have still been alive. I had to contend with dozens of his minions before I found him.
Then, perhaps one of them warned him of your coming and he broke off his ritual. Or, perhaps, knowing that an outsider was fighting for him was what lifted the weight from Talor's heart. I know from experience that many illnesses are not wholly physical, but of the spirit, at least in part.
Was there ever really a curse then? Or was Talor simply suffering from the pain of his memories? And the guilt of what he'd done? For all the difference it makes. I suppose we'll never know.
Maybe not. But this much I do know. It was your strength and your selflessness that healed his heart in the end.
I'll be sure to tell my healer friend when I get home.
Quest complete. I think that's 9 of 10. So, there's 2 left. I think we've done 9. 1 more to get the trophy. Let's go. First, I'm going to save.